everyone, this is Ida of Created to Create. Welcome back to my channel. If you are not 18 years or older, this video content is not intended for you. Today I wanted to share I'm creating a kind of a get well soon little care package. And so to create the box, I don't have a die because I wanted my box to be a good size. But to create the dividers, I did use my new die that I just released not long ago. And I used the large ones, the large dividers, which are these, to separate, you know, the compartments in my box, because I wanted to separate everything I was putting in there. And they actually do come on a card like this, and it, you know, it's got the name, and it also comes in one of these pockets that we use. I haven't put mine away because they just came in. For all the ladies who ordered them, thank you very much. I really appreciate it. Those have all been shipped out. So if you guys were waiting for those, I shipped them out because I finally got the packaging in. Anyway, I had already cut mine out, and I wanted to share with you what it looks like. This is what it looks like already in the box that I created. And I'm going to put the lid of the box together, and so I can share with you how easy it is to create these boxes. Hold on one second. Hold on one second. Hey, I'm recording. Seems like every time I turn on my camera to record you guys, everybody starts to get loud in the house. Anyway, I use the dividers to create the sections in the box, and I'm going to share them with you and show you or explain to you how I extended them, because the dividers, I have two different sizes, one that's 1.5 inches tall and one that is 2 inches tall. This is the 2-inch one, is the one that I used. And to extend it, because my box measures 3.5 inches, all I did, and you'll be able to see here what I did. I haven't glued these down, and I don't think I'm going to, but I didn't finish one off so I could share it with you. What I did to extend it, let me pull this out. The sections that I wasn't using, I was only going to use the center one on both, because I was going to just crisscross them in the center. So there was two sides I wasn't using. I only needed one of the openings. To cover the openings up, I had some scraps from the box that I was creating, and all I did was cut them down to size, and I glued them on either side of the opening, and that gave it strength. But I also cut these to be 3.5 inches tall, like my box. So that's how you can extend those. And if you don't like the way the openings look, by adding these squares right here, or rectangles, I was able to cover that up. So I left one that I didn't complete so I can share with you. So I'm going to use the center opening right here. So I'm going to cover on this side and the other side of the box. And I have 4 pieces here, and I think I'm going to need to trim them down a little bit, maybe not. So I'm just going to add glue, and because I'm using the center one, I'm going to line this up, and I'm going to stay on this side of the opening. So I'm not going to cover that opening. And here is my glue bottle, and that, like I said, it gives it strength, and it covers up those openings if you don't like the way they look. And it also helps you to extend your dividers if you want them to be taller the way I want mine to be. So there's one. Let me add glue to the other. So all you have to do is measure the height that you want, and from behind the opening or right after the opening, this way. And that's how you get those layering pieces to layer there. It's really simple, you guys. It's not a big deal. I mean, it's not hard or anything. And I'm going to cover that one up as well. Looks like this one's a little long. I might have to trim this one. Yeah, I can see where this one extended out. And all I'm going to do is take my scissors, and using the side, that's kind of my guide. So there's one side already covered. So I'm going to turn it to the other side, and I'm going to do the same I'm just going to add glue. Whoops. For those of you who like this bottle that I'm using, that is actually a bottle that I picked up at Hobby Lobby, and it is for cake decorating, and it's for writing with the icing. It's an icing bottle, and that's where I picked that one up. So I know a lot of you ladies like to have everything pink in your craft room. And I didn't add a small tip to it or anything like that, because to me, when I'm working with a bigger project like this that's not small details, I prefer something that has a little bit more of an opening, but it's not very big either. I didn't have to cut it or anything. It already came with the opening, and to me that's perfect for what I needed it for. And it comes in a pack of 2. You get this size, and then you get a smaller one. I shared them with my friend Carolyn, and she loves everything pink, and I was teasing her, and I had to go and pick some up for her because she likes everything pink in her craft room, or she loves the color pink. Maybe not everything, but so I just had to trim off a little bit because those are scraps that I had left from the box that I was creating. And let me get the lid to this. And but I left the opening there because I need it to slide into this one. And in this one, you can see that the opening is all the way down because this is the bottom one. So I had to make sure that I didn't cover it. On this one, the opening is little. Even though I stayed on either side, it really, I don't need it to extend, because I just need this one to extend. And I didn't have to do anything special. I was just careful where I lined up my paper. So one divider goes here, and then the other one goes in here. And you're going to see, because the opening goes all the way down, so does the divider. So you want the top one to be able to slide all the way down. So that's all I did to it, guys. I didn't do anything special. Now right here, if I wanted to, I could glue them in place. I'm not going to glue mine. I'm going to add shred and stuff like that. So I don't really need to glue it in place. But pretty much that's how I did it. Now I want to share with you how I created the box. And I'm going to create the lid now, but it is the exact same process. The only difference is that you start out with 1/8 of an inch smaller on the bottom portion, the box part. Because if you don't do that and you make both of them the same size, then the lids is not going to be able to go over the box because they're going to be the same size. And I like mine snug, so I only take off about 1/8 of an inch on 2 sides. So I'm going to share with you, actually I'm going to, let's fill this up. Even though I didn't finish the sides or anything, I'm not sure if I'm going to, but I did finish the back to make my box sturdy. And as I'm going along creating the lid, I'm going to explain to you how I made the box sturdy, because I'm not going to do the same thing on the lid because it's only the cover. But I will explain it to you. So what I got, I went to the Dollar Tree and they had this orangey and yellow shred, and I love it. And I mixed it up with a craft colored one that they also had there, because I was trying to do like a fall. If you don't want these to move, guys, you can glue them in place. I'm not going to glue mine because by the time I fill it up, you're not even going to be able to see that. Maybe more in here. And I don't really need that much of the shred because of what I'm putting in here. So the lady that I'm sending this to, I don't know, we're just new friends, really. It's a new friendship. And I don't know if she likes tea or coffee. Not everybody likes coffee, not everybody likes tea, but most of us like hot cocoa, except for Carolyn. Go figure. Carolyn had to be the one who doesn't like hot cocoa. I personally do like hot cocoa, but I can't have it. So in here, because you know we're coming into fall pretty soon, so I wanted to have a fall like a grateful type of box. So that's what I decided to do with mine. I didn't have any fall paper, but I had this paper pad that I picked up from, this paper pad is from Hobby Lobby. And it has the fall-ish color, so I decided to go with that. In the top compartment here, I'm going to add this mug that my daughter custom made for me. And it says it's the most wonderful time of the year. And normally you would see that for Christmas, the Christmas season, but we love fall. So for us, that was perfect. You see the pumpkins got a scarf on, the boots, a little caramel apple right there, and the coffee mug. And then it has scripture on it. It says, enter his gates with thanksgiving and his courts with praise. Give thanks to him and praise his name. And that's Psalms 104. So that's going to go here. And I only added a little bit because this cup is kind of tall-ish. And right here, I didn't think about this, you guys. See how I extended it? So the mug, the handle is going to stick up. And it's okay because my lid is going to slide on the top. So that's not going to matter. But if you're going to want your handle, you know what? I think I can fix this. I am going to fix this issue right now because I don't want the handle to be that like that. So I'm going to pick this up and I'm going to cut off a little section here so the handle can lie a little bit more flat. It's getting really thick with all those layers I put in it. So that's pretty good right there, and I'm going to cut that off. And that will give my handle a little ledge to rest on. So let me go ahead and put this back in there. So that's the beauty of these, that you can customize them to whatever you need. So this one is taller, but this one is shorter because when I put the mug here, and this is going to be packaged in another box, and it's probably going to have some bubble, some air pillows in it, so I'm not too worried about cushioning this or anything like that because it's going to be in another box. So when I set this down now, I mean, I could still take this down a little bit more, and I think that I'm going to because I want the handle to be, you know what? No, I think this is good. I'm going to leave it like that. And I'm just going to slide that under the handle. And if I want, see that opening right there? I can add shred to that. And that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to add shred to this section right here in the mug. There you go. So there's that. In this one, I have a pair of, they're actually Halloween socks, and I don't do Halloween, but these don't have pumpkins or anything like that. They're just orange and black, and they're real soft socks, and I thought the recipient would, at this time, want to be just a little bit more comfortable. So sometimes when you don't feel good, you know, you want things that are, you know, comfort things. So to me, that's what this is. So I'm going to add this here, and this box, pumpkin box, came from the Dollar Tree, you guys. I bought it last year, but I was in there today, and they had them, so they're there. Now, in the section over here, I'm going to add some more goodies. And this is not a crafty box. This is more of just a comfort box. That's what I want to call it. For this, all I did was I bought these little candy corn Ziplocs at the Dollar Tree. And this belly band right here is actually a napkin ring from, it's a paper one, from Hobby Lobby that I bought a couple years ago, and I never did anything with it. So I bought a bag of marshmallows, and I didn't touch them. If you're going to handle them with your hands, make sure you're wearing a glove. I kind of just snipped off the corner and poured some in there and closed it up. And then I have a little individual packages of hot cocoa and the marshmallows and just the belly band. And look at how pretty that looks. So that's going to go here. Let's see. There's one. And I have 4 of them all together. So there's 2. Here is another one. Oops, it's sliding off. So make sure yours doesn't slide off the way mine's trying to do. And then here is the last one. And this was actually tucked in here and it kind of slipped off where I took it out of the box because I already had it packed. And then I decided to go ahead and make the dividers taller. So there is, look at how pretty that looks, you guys. Let me move this glue out of the way. And then I picked up some Werther's soft caramel, and they had the fall ones. So they had this is the caramel apples, and then they had the pumpkin spice. And I don't think she eats a lot of sweets, so I only did a few in the resealable bags. And I'm just going to put them in between the box, the hot cocoa. Look at how pretty that looks. And then I'm just going to top it off with a little bit more shred. Not too much, but I want to tuck some here on the pumpkin. And maybe some right here. Just a little bit. Nothing crazy. Just make it nice and festive and, you know, make it like someone really wants to receive this or to light up somebody's face when they open this. And it's pretty, you know. It's very simple, guys. It's nothing crazy, but it's pretty. So let me add a little bit more back here. And I love the candy corn bags. So I definitely have enough to make another one if I decide I want to. And then I had some fall leaves, and you can find these at the Dollar Tree. And I'm just going to just tuck them in here and there. Here's one that has glitter. I'll put it there. Let's put it here. Or maybe here. Yeah. Here's another one, and I'm going to tuck that one back here. And then here's a bigger one that I'm going to tuck right in there. So just, you know, a little added something. Maybe here. Maybe I'll add this here. What do y'all think? No. Maybe here. I'm just going to tuck it into one of these packages. And look at how pretty the box looks. How festive is that? I'm not going to do the side, but you can hear that it is layered with chipboard, because after I created my box, and I'm going to show you the process, after I had created the box, I cut out some layering pieces, not just in the designer paper, but in chipboard, and I covered the chipboard layers that I was going to put in here with the designer paper, and I left it a ½ an inch taller and scored it, and I folded it over so you get this clean edge. That's how I did that. So I'm going to move this aside, and I'm going to show you how I created the lid. For the lid, this is going to be a true 8x8. The bottom portion, it was like 8 7/8 maybe by 8 7/8. I'm sorry, 7 7/8 by 7 7/8 square. I did it in 2 different sections because because of the depth of my box, a 12 by 12 paper wasn't going to cut it, so I had to do it in sections. And it's very, very easy, guys. So I'm going to share with you how I did it. I cut out a piece of paper that measures, this one measures 8 by 8, and I use one of my dies here to cut out an aperture or an opening. You can see my hand because it's not going to be a shaker, but I want you to be able to see what's inside the box. And to get the layering piece just right, I normally layer them how I'm going to cut it out. And I don't really use washi tape because I do use my Anna Griffin machine, and I cut into the magnetic shim. So the paper is trapped between the magnet shim and the die, so that holds it in place. But I do tape the die in place on the top layer so it doesn't shift, and most of the time it doesn't cut all the way through. but it leaves an indentation or cuts part of the second one that you can line it up. And when you put your paper on top, they're going to line up, because when you cut it, you gave yourself that template by putting all your layers together. So I didn't have the acetate in there. It was just the 3 sheets of paper. I centered it as if I were gluing them together. I put my die with washi tape on top and ran it through my machine. And I did have to use the big Anna Griffin one because I cut one with the shorter Anna Griffin plates, and look, it left my paper wobbly. It looks terrible. I don't know if you can see it, but it did a horrible job there. So because I was trying to cut corners, I was trying to do it fast without really just going ahead and taking out the bigger plates. So I'm not going to do this portion yet, oops, because I'm going to construct the box. That way you guys can see. To create the box, this is an 8x8. If you're doing, to create the lid. If you're creating the box, you're going to need a 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. Just take off 1/8 of an inch off. Or you can cut out an 8x8 square and then trim off 1/8 of an inch on 2 sides. And I don't mean this one and this one. I mean this one and this one. You're not the one that's across, but the opposite. Not the opposite, but the other one. Because you want a piece that measures 7 7/8 by 7 7/8. So, and then I knew that my box was 3.5 inches tall, and it's 8 inches long, the sides. So in order to create my box, I gave myself an extra 1/2 inch at the end. So this is not 8 inches, it's 8.5. And this is not 3.5, it's 4 inches, because I needed that 1/2 inch. And then I scored on one of the short sides 1/2 inch, and on the long one another 1/2 inch. And I needed 4 of those to create the box. So let me show you how to construct the box. And this is the perfect way, guys, to make boxes. No matter what size you need them to be, when they're big, you can do it this way, and it's, it's easier to run it through your machine if you want to cut out an opening and all that. That really does help with that. Oops. Folded it to the wrong side. When you score, you want to fold towards the bump of your paper. So to create the box, all I did was create the 4 panels that measure 8.5 by 4 inches. I scored it 1/2 inch on the short side and 1/2 inch on one of the long sides. That's it, on all 4 pieces. And now we're going to glue it together. So I'm going to add glue here. I'm always dropping stuff. So I'm going to add glue there. And I did angle the corners. As you can see, they are angled. That way they don't cause me any problems. So here is the box, and this is going to be the side, so it's going to be down. But I'm going to flip it around because this way it's easier for me. And I'm going to line it up right there at the end and right here at the corner. And make sure you do not go past that score mark. You do not want to go past that score mark. So here is one of the sides. And then I'm going to do that again, going the other direction. So what you're going to, when you move to the next side, make sure that one side has the tab and one side doesn't, because that tab is going to glue these together. And you don't want to have 2 that have the tabs, because that means you did it wrong. So we use one with a tab and one without the tab, line up in the same spot. And I'm going to put this in here again and line it up. I kind of feel like I cut my papers too small, but we'll see. So there's that. So this is the inside of the lid. In case you're a little bit, I didn't explain it correctly. This is the inside of the box. So here's another one, and we're going to keep doing the same thing around. And the reason I'm gluing these on what would be the top of the box is because I'm layering a layering piece there, and you're not going to see it. You're not going to see the tabs. Make sure I'm in the corner. I really think I cut these a little short. I really do. But I think we can make it work even if it's a little short. There's that one. And now we're going to put on the last one. So always remember when you're making a box, if this measures, whatever it measures, at an inch, half an inch longer and half an inch wider. And that gives you your tabs that you're going to need for your box. Yeah, this really looks like it's a little short. Now we're going to make it work. So there it is. Now all that we have to do is glue these tabs together at the corner, and that's what I'm going to do now. You know what? While it's flat, I'm going to flip it to the front, and I'm going to go ahead and add my layering piece while it's flat. And this is going to go here, and it's going to cover up all those tabs that we just added. They're so loud. See, if I had a fine tip glue bottle, that would be too much. It would take too long to add glue to it. But because this one has a bigger opening, it works for me. Okay, so now I'm going to just line this up. And and I'm going to line it up with the opening right here. And it should be perfect, or about perfect. Oh, I can see the tab. I'm going to have to cut that tab off. Okay. I can see the tab right here a little bit. You know what? It doesn't look bad, so I'm just going to leave it. But make sure that when you're adding your layering piece, I might go back in there and trim it. When you're adding your layering piece, make sure that the tab on the piece that you're adding doesn't extend, and you can see it. Okay, so there's the layering piece. Now all I'm going to do is I'm going to add glue to these tabs and glue those in place. Make sure they line up. Gonna hold it for a minute and use my foam folder. I have a really small countertop, and I always have a bunch of stuff on here. It's so difficult, but you know, I use that stuff. So let's add glue to this tab. If you wanted to, if you were going to add a layer to the inside, like what we did on the top, then you would layer all your pieces together as if you were going to glue them in place. And you would, that way, even though it didn't cut it all the way through, it would give you a template or a kind of a score mark and some cut where your die would just drop into that section, and it would be good. One more side. I feel like I've been standing all day, you guys. Maybe because I have. Again, make sure your box lines up at the top. And then here. And you're going to see everything goes the way it should, the way I think it will. This lid will fit over the box, but it's going to be snug because I like my lids to be snug. And here's the last one. And I am going to add layers afterwards to this. And I will come back and share it with you guys. Right now, I just want to share the process on how I make my boxes. Boxes is one of those things that I don't have too much difficulty with, but I know a lot of people struggle with that. So, that's why I wanted to share it. But if this paper is not even 100 pounds, so this paper is very flimsy, so I do have to add layers because it is, I mean, it's soft. Let me pick up my lid real quick so my glue will not dry. Now, for this portion, I did cut out an arbor. And this does have artwork, but I didn't use the artwork because of, let me get some double-sided tape. I didn't use the arbor artwork because I felt like it really didn't match. And I'm just going to add, you know, just a little bit of double-sided tape. I wish this were wider, but this is what I have. And a little here. I wish it were wider, but in this little area, the fact that it's thin works really well. And you know, I don't think I'm going to add any here. Maybe a little tab there, little piece there, and a little piece right there. And then I'll probably add glue to the rest. Just a little bit to hold it. So, So, I was thinking how it's time for me to start. I work with leather. And I want to create gifts for my family members, my siblings. And I need to get started, you guys, because Christmas will be here before we even know it. And some people might think it's too early, but I have a lot of siblings. And I'm not even sure I'm going to get to all of them. But I want to, but we'll see. If I can, I will. If I can't, then you'll understand. Come on. So make sure you burnish it. And I'm going to add, I'm going to lift that up later, I think. I'm not going to do it right now. So here's the arbor that we're going to put on the lid. And I am going to go back and clean it with some alcohol because I've been handling it. And this is packaging acetate because it's very, very sturdy. So I always save that and use it. So let's see. I'm going to try and line up these bows as best as I can. That actually looks really good right there. Let me set it down. So even though I use double-sided tape, it's not really that obvious, but if it were obvious, I could add another, I could cut another one and mirror it, but I'm not going to because it doesn't look bad. So here is the lid, and let's see what it looks like on the box. I will come back afterwards and share the box with you guys already decorated. For right now, I just wanted to share with you how to extend the dividers and how to cover up the holes if you didn't like them, because a lot of ladies did order it. And I think I want this to be turned this way. And if I did this right, this should fit perfectly but snugly. It should be snug, but it should fit. If you like yours to be a little bit bigger, you can do that. But look, guys, see how snug that is? Look at how pretty that is. And it's not even decorated yet. I still need to add, I created some flowers a couple years ago. I never used them. So I am going to add some flowers to decorate this portion of it. So I'm not really done yet and how I'm going to wrap it. I just wanted to share with you guys how to create any box, especially if you can't create it with a 12 by 12 piece of paper where you have to create it in sections like I just did now. So that's what I wanted to share with you guys. And like I said, the lid doesn't have to be real strong, but I am still going to layer it because my box underneath the base is very strong. The cross dividers that are in here also give it strength so the box won't collapse, you know, the inside. So that, plus it's really full. So anyway, that is what I wanted to share with you guys. If you guys did not pick up your box dividers yet, I will link them in the description box below, and I urge you to grab them because we're getting to that season where you're going to want to be gift giving, and these are going to be perfect for all your needs because I just separated into 4. There's so many ways that you can divide this, and the way I figured out how I want it, I put everything that I was going to put in the box and kind of just laid it out on my desk. So I knew I only needed 4 different compartments. But if I was doing more things or skinnier things and longer, then I would have laid it down and gave myself an idea more or less how I wanted to assemble my dividers. Anyway, guys, that is all that I have to share with y'all. When I come back, I will have the box finished, and I will also share a couple things I picked up from the Dollar Tree to finish this box up. That way it looks pretty, but it's, you know, if you're on a budget, you know, you can do really nice work just picking up things from the Dollar Tree. You can make something that is so very simple and make it look very elegant for gift giving. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope everyone's having a great day, and make sure to if you want the die, I will link it in the description box below, and make sure to pick it up. I still have a few left, so you'll be able to get them there, and they are in 2 sizes. And if you're going to be doing any gift giving, especially if you're doing ornaments, like this is perfect for ornaments. This is perfect for if you like to bake. Anyone that bakes, this is perfect. This die is something that you will always use for gift giving. Anyway, guys, thanks for watching. Bye.